I've had a couple of people ask about my setup for shooting the NRL22 matches. So thought I'd take just a real quick few minutes here and run through my setup that I've been shooting in 2019 and the gun you've seen on all my videos so far this year. Base rifle is a Ruger Precision Rimfire in 22. This is something I got at the beginning of the year. Started out as a stock rifle and made some adjustments along the way to suit my style, and I've kind of found some things that work for me and some things that didn't. And so this is what I've ended up with after almost a year of shooting this rifle. Starting at the back, and we'll just move toward the front here. In the back I've got a homemade bag rider. It's actually just a 1-inch scope ring, quick detach with a piece of aluminum rod in there. I like to run the bipod on the front a little bit higher, and this gives me some more room to put my rear bag in there. Also gives me a little bit extra height if I'm trying to tuck it into my shoulder and use my other hand to support. I have a Wiebad mini stock pad on here. This is great for the summer and the winter. Plastic can get pretty hot and pretty cold, and so this kind of tones it out a little bit. And especially if you're rocking a beard, it helps not be pulling any hairs out. Got the Masterpiece Arms enhanced vertical grip here, the EVG. I run the same grip on my Ruger Precision 6.5 and my other 6.5 and an MPA chassis. I really like this grip. It helps with the hand position, keep your finger from in the right position for the trigger pull, straight back. Keep this thumb on this side of the grip. I really like the vertical grip here. Catalyst Arms Hammerhead bolt knob. If you're like me and you have fairly large hands and you shoot in the winter when sometimes you need to be wearing gloves, this is a great way to give you a little bit more surface area to grab on and really be able to manipulate that bolt. I have this on several of my rifles, and I love the Catalyst Arms knob there. Up on top, Vortex Diamondback Tactical 6-24 by 50 first focal plane scope. This one is in minute of angle, and I chose MOA mostly because I 95% of the time shoot using holdovers instead of dialing in. And for this particular rifle, my holdover at 75 yards is 2 minute of angle, and at 100 yards is 6 minute of angle. That's with a 50 yard zero. And so those numbers super easy to remember, and so that works out pretty well for me. A lot of guys in our club shoot mil. It's kind of just a personal preference. I have mil on some of my other rifles. Just so happens in this case it works out great to use minute of angle. I may switch that up in the future, I don't know, but so far it's been working out. One thing I do have tied onto the back of my scope, on the side of my scope here, I have a little homemade data card holder, and so I can go through all the stages ahead of time, write down kind of a little run through, write down my holdovers, slap it on the side here. There's commercial varieties of this that I kind of looked at and decided, hey, I can make this, so that's what I did. The scope is in a Burris AR mount. No particular reason, that's just what I had sitting around when I bought the rifle. I have a Anarchy Outdoors throw lever up on here. Again, one of my favorite mods for this rifle. Super easy to give you quick changes in magnification, more surface area to grab onto, and again, if you have to wear gloves, anything like that, throw lever's a good way to go. I have still have the stock trigger in it, adjusted down to 2.5 pounds. that's pretty close to the minimum. I haven't had any real reason to look for any other triggers. I know there's some aftermarket ones available for this rifle. At this point, I'm not really looking into it. I had good luck with the stock. I did switch out the magazine plunger for a kid and use the stiffer spring. I've noticed since I've done that, the magazines lock up really nice and tight in there. I use just the standard 10 round 1022 magazines. I think they call this a BX1. They lock up really good. Have ER Shaw 18-inch stainless steel match barrel on here. The stock barrel shot pretty darn well, but when I switched it out to the Shaw, I did notice that 100 yards and out, it did tighten it up a little bit, and it was a little less picky with ammo, so I think that was a good change out there. One thing about the Shaw and the match cut chamber is that it will not extract an unfired round. So if you chamber one and your time runs out and you don't get that shot off, you have to burn it somehow. It won't pull it out. So just something to remember. Front, we got the Atlas BT10 bipod with the ADM Picatinny mount. I really like the quick detach here because there's some stages use the bipod, some stages I don't, and so I'm not messing around with it, just a quick lever throw on and off. I've got just recently switched out the regular feet to the Hawk Hill Talon feet. I've noticed they do give you some pretty good grip on most things. They may be a little bit more skatey on things like the tops of metal drums. The one thing I'm taking me a little bit getting used to is they are sharp, 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 and I've poked myself a couple of times when particularly when they're folded up one way or the other, and I'm not watching where I stick my hand. I poke myself on the bottom, so gotta start looking out for that. Accessories for the rifle that I've found have really helped me out this year. Shooting NRL22 required chamber flag. So when you're not shooting the stage, you must have a chamber flag in, and when you're moving to and off of the stage. This is a really, really cool one made by JKL. It's their MagFlag. It's molded after the 1022 magazine. Slips right in there, locks right in there. It's got this handy little flag on there. Pretty cool. Can't move the bolt. I've got the Short Action Precision Positional Sling. I love this sling. It's only on there for shooting positional stages, otherwise I take it off. It's got the quick detach cuff on it, so you can get your arm in and out. Adjustable all sorts of different ways. Super easy with this buckle up front to either tighten or loosen up once you get set up, so you can adjust it in the stage, no problem at all. Like I mentioned, just shooting the regular standard 1022 10 round magazines, almost all stages. Sometimes we've had our 10 rounds, sometimes we have a bonus stage that's different. One thing that I have done is I actually bought enough magazines to shoot an entire match without reloading the magazines. I find that gives me one less thing to worry about. I can prep them beforehand. You get on eBay, you can buy 2 or 4 packs of them, pretty decent money. So I get them all loaded up ahead of time. I like to put a little piece of tape over the top. Note that I have 10 rounds in there. That way when I go and set it for a stage, I can pull that tape off of there. I know I've got 10 rounds in there. If I come across a loose mag kicking around in my bag that doesn't have a piece of tape, I don't put that in for a stage because I'm never quite sure if that has 10 loaded, or if I had to drop that mag for some reason, there's a couple rounds left in there, whatever reason. So I like to tape them up beforehand. A lot of stages, you're allowed a bag of some sort. This is a Thunderbird long range bag with a somewhat heavy fill on it. It's got a real grippy top and a middle section. There's actually a strap part of it too that can go over it with some quick buckles if you want to strap it on underneath. I generally don't. I've tried out half a dozen different bags. So far this one's been my favorite. I really like it, and we'll probably keep running this one. Another super handy piece of gear that you can have, helps me prepare. You have a little clipboard. You can print out the stage descriptions ahead of time, and I usually write down some little notes on here. There's a place to put down your score for the stage. Super handy even when you get to the match. Usually there's other guys that have the stage descriptions, but it's nice to have a copy of your own you can take notes on. Save them, look back, see what you did good, see what you need to improve on. It's handy to have around. And then this year, starting about mid-year, I started filming most of my match stages. I've had a couple where the camera malfunctioned and didn't record, but otherwise it really helps me to remember what happened, remember things I need to work on. Other folks in our club like to watch them. It's kind of neat. So what I have is action camera mount, and took a cheap hat, drilled a hole in the bill, added the mount, boom, right on my head. I thought about putting it on the rifle or chest harness or something, but found out it really got in the way, and if I just put it on my hat, turn it on before, turn it off after, stays out of the way, it doesn't bother me at all. So that's pretty much the setup that I've been running this year. I plan to run this hopefully all of 2020 as well. Can't think of any major changes that I would like to make at the moment. Been pretty happy with this rifle. If I do my part, it shoots extremely well, and so generally don't have any complaints. If you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I will get back when I can. Thanks for watching.